All right, welcome back, guys. We are here, round two. We are still following because they are undefeated against another undefeated player currently in round two. So this is going to be once again Aggro versus this time it's going to be Kuon D Shift, which is another really strong meta contender. These are probably the two best decks you could be playing right now. So it'll be interesting to see how these decks play out. I feel like Cool technically should have a bit of an edge in some cases. It just probably also really depends at how quickly they see their Curse Crafters or not. Because games you see Curse Crafters are so different than the ones you don't see Curse Crafter in. Just being able to control the board early on, kind of run them out of resources essentially, is really good for Kuon, and we just kind of use our spells to control the board until we get obviously to our Kuon D-shift turns to close out the game. We don't really have to worry too much about healing or anything like that. Cool though, getting the really great turn one start. Everyone would love to start off with the Karen Hojo 3-1 on the board, obnoxious stat line for one drop here. We'll probably get answered by Snipe, obviously. Yep, Snipe coming in hot here, clearing up the board already. This is just kind of the game plan, the MO here for Kuon. We got to make sure the board doesn't get too out of control before we get to our Kuon turns and D-shift turns to really close out the game. Interesting to note, this Kuon list does play a one of Mr. Heimlin, Shadow Mage, which is pretty funny. It probably helps in the mirror a bit, as well as, if you need that. If you need to get as many spells into the grave as soon as possible, not the worst in the world to be playing on curve on 5, but they only play it as a one of. So it's really more about them drawing into it naturally early on in hopes. We got Penguin Wizard coming down here. Gonna go ahead and Evo immediately. Probably going to go ahead and ditch it again to go ahead and draw some more again this turn. Slowly setting up here, grabbing some pieces we might need here. All right, passing the turn. Obviously, no play points floating, but we were moving on to turn 3. They'll have 3. Be able to hopefully answer whatever comes out here since Cool is on 3 play points now. Let's see how they end up deciding to play this turn out. All right, opting the pass here, leaving play points floating. Probably not necessarily the control the board or anything like that. This is probably more of like, if I start pushing things to the board, like it's probably going to get cleared. So I need to wait till I get to a somewhat critical mass of play points to be able to like pop off. Maybe on turn 4, they can drop a Rune with Karen Hojo to go ahead and give that Storm 2 and hopefully push like 6 damage that way. 6 to 7 damage that way would be pretty nice. But we'll see what happens here. That or they're bricking really bad, which would be surprising. There's not too many crazy things going on here. They do play Anastasia, which is a powerful 5-drop. They could be breaking on that potentially, but we'll see what happens as these turns progress here. Obviously, we have opting to ward it immediately. I feel like there's no reason to really ward in this matchup because your life total does not really matter. It's more about later on here. But yeah, we have this 3-4 ward coming down here. Hopefully it'll eat, or sorry, 3-5 that is. I would really like to see it live, but we'll see what happens here. We're going to go ahead and get the Chain of Calling at him turn here. Probably looking for something like Curse Crafter or even Mr. Heimlin for the next couple turns later. But honestly, even Demon Caller, now that the ward is engaged, Demon Caller is also not the worst in the world. We got to see the Curse Crafter off of this. We're going to be able to play this bad boy on curve and Evo, answer this board, and still have our board ourselves, along with our Penguin being able to quickly discard and, fill up that graveyard. I feel like this game almost already feels out of control. Cool might not be able to survive that long, depending what happens here. I think the obvious play here is just Curse Crafter Evo and like ditch a card with Penguin, or even push damage if you feel like that's important here. Just pushing a couple damage and kind of threatening Cool's life total doesn't seem like the worst in the world, but obviously trying to stay on game plan to go ahead and get Kuon out for free and get to the D-shift turns as soon as possible is probably better in the long run here, because you're already so far ahead. Getting that Curse Crafter, being able to easily answer this board and keep your board state going as well is really, really good. Meaning that their Cool will have to play the control game, which is pretty bad for them if they don't get a really good like turn 5 turn potentially with Anastasia or something like that to really pop off in this matchup here.
Sure. Penguin's gonna drop Trail of Light, which
Okay.
I'll draw for Penguin.
All right, Penguin dropping Trail of Light, letting them basically draw 2 cards here.
Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I feel like the play is just Curse Crafter, build the board. They have a board that now you get to threaten them with damage next turn, and even if they answer your board, you're still going to get a draw discard from the Curse Crafter itself, since it does make that Shikigami.
I will 1, 2.
Oh.
For Traditional Sorceress. At Spell Chain 7, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She will heal me 2.
Okay.
And summon a Shikigami and get
Sure.
a ward.
I'm not sure if I really like this play.
And then I will 1, 2, 4.
I assume they're going to play a second one as well. Maybe this isn't the worst in the world here. I think I still personally would have liked the Curse Crafter play because I think that's more threatening than this board state. And at any point, you can go ahead and just generate the healing here and the wards if need be. You're honestly, your life total is not even close to be in danger here. But maybe they felt like this is just the best play they could be making, even though they got Curse Crafter off of that last turn after the Chain of Calling. So kind of surprised they went with this play instead. But it is what it is. I guess if they're afraid of some weird things happening, this is like an okay thing to be running into here.
Do this, pay 5.
Let's see what happens here, though.
Anastasia's skill, recover 2 play points.
Yep, so we're looking for this Anastasia turn here. We got 2 play points back.
Goddess, draw a card. If there's a fall where it costs 5.
They are playing Goddess by the Sunlit Sea here. Oh, this is more of a combo cool deck here, it seems like. More than aggro, honestly, now that I'm kind of re-evaluating the list. Still has such a strong aggro package. Just doing the combo cool stuff is still very powerful too. At least it lets you have these turn 5 plays that can have the potential to pop off against these matchups that like have good control early game.
Pay 1 for Kako. This card costs 3 or less to play if there are at least 3 Idolmaster followers on the field. So this just costs 1. Anastasia's skill prop, recover 2 play points.
All right, we're recovering play points here. We got a pretty big board going. Looks like cool aggro, doing cool aggro things with the Anastasia combo stuff, which I really like. This is something I was playing with early on. I personally, by testing it a bunch, I didn't like that much too often, but I do think it does very well into Kuon, or it does a little bit better when you do get those hands that don't just like get a combo off crazy quick, and Kuon has all the answers early on.
Because then at 5, you get the plus
1.
Yeah,
She gets the +1/+1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do see the brand new world in hand. There could be some potential with that. Not sure if they're going to be able to do much here. They could potentially Evo, but the Evo... not sure if the Evo is going to do enough here because they still need to pay 3 on the Evo as well. All right. Playing this, I assume they're going to pop it. I don't think they have a real way to just, use any of the items in EX Zone this turn, so they won't be able to get a draw off of it, unfortunately.
Give it to this Azuki.
Yep.
So she'll just get basically 1 attack and take all her stats. She's a 4. Okay.
Do they have one more 1-drop or something here that they can buff the board? That would be really nice to see, because then you're only real out as Kuon. You have a nice board going here, but they do have a second one. This is spicy turns here. The only issue here is that you won't be able to really like cash in a lot of this here because there are 2 wards coming up here, and one of the best answers for Kuon here is Meteor Storm. So if they do have Meteor Storm, they're pretty close to being able to pop off with it. The 7 in Grave here, if they clear out some of these, it'll go to 8, 9, and then they could potentially discard another spell and hopefully get to spell chain 10. I forgot that exactly if they were everything in there was spells. But I guess we'll see here in a second.
Okay. So this goes with this. Penguin restands. We are still at 7.
Interesting that they are not opting. Rika opted not to clear out one of the wards.
4-6, 3-3.
I'm not sure why they decide that if they are warding themselves up as well, just because now the Kuon player will be able to have the agency of deciding how they want to lose these little tokens, essentially the Shikigami, and get a draw discard now. Basically, you give them the agency to decide how they want to distribute the damage to the board.
I have to figure out the correct order of operations here.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, okay. So I think these two Shikigamis are going to go into the 4-4.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
And so we'll do this one at a time.
Yeah.
One Shikigami dies. One draws.
All right, we're running one Shikigami in, getting rid of this 4-4 here.
Just remember for future reference, this could be a ruling you have to do it one at a time, but it's only a local, so it's like it's not bad unless
okay, perfect.
Unless the powers that be say you can do it one at a time, but I don't think it's that strict. So
yeah, especially because I'm not drawing 2 right now. Like I'm doing this one at a time.
Correct.
Looks like they're talking about doing the actions one at a time. It's always good to have clean play. Just don't turn everything sideways thinking your opponent's not going to do anything or has any implications like that. It's important to do things the correct way, especially in tournament matches. I know this is a little bit more casual, but good habits to build on. If this board here gets answered, I think just Rika is just kind of out of the game. So I would definitely be looking for that Meteor Storm if possible at this point. But we'll see what happens. They technically have 3 draws to find it. And I mean, any Trail of Lights too that they draw and discard here are going to add to hopefully finding that one of, obviously.
Okay. So now this one dies. And I will draw.
All right, second Shikigami going in, clearing that 4-4 ward out of the way. Discarding Summon Shikigami. That's a bit surprising, honestly.
Okay, so then we will.
I feel like that's such a powerful card. Lets you draw a card, make a ward in this case as well. That also draws discard. All right.
Crafter makes one of these and then destroys it to do 4 damage to that 4-6.
Sure. Remaining 2.
Yep. The dead Shikigami is going to draw and discard for me.
Okay.
Guard. And then the sorceress will swing the last 2 damage into the ward.
Yep.
She swings back for 4, so both.
All right. Running the sorceress is in to clear that last ward here.
7, 8, 9 spells.
Are we going to get Evo on Cursecrafter here or not? What is happening here exactly?
Crafter will now.
I assume we Evo clear some damage somewhere at least.
Crafter will now evolve.
Probably the 1-drop.
Sure.
And we will do. She's a 3/3, and that's a 3/5.
3/5.
Oh. Yeah.
This is pretty rough because honestly, you definitely want to get rid of the Anastasia, but you'll need a way to actually clear it because this next turn, Anastasia lives. If they're able to play a lot of things, they're going to get play points back, refunded, and everything like that, making this board state a little more awkward than you want it to be. Opting to go ahead and save yourself some damage here, leaving the Anastasia on board as a 4. I believe 3/5, 3/6, something like that. Yeah, 3/5. There we go.
And that's your go.
Passing turn here, we have this 3/5 Anastasia on board. Kind of scary. Means that if they play 4 things this turn, they're going to get 4 play points back in total here. All right, not bad. We got Layla here, which on Evo lets them search for a cool and passion follower and then add it to their hand. So they're not out of the game just yet with being down to a 1-card hand, going up to a 2-card hand now. That's the first card of the turn as well. Got to keep track of that, as if 2 cards get played, then we're going to recover 2 play points. I believe is. Let me double check the wording on Anastasia. Whenever you play a card during your turn, if it's the third you've played this turn, recover 2 play points. Sorry, we're going to need 2 more cards to go ahead and recover 2 play points. And then on the 5th one, we'll get the +1/+1 again. Forgot the initial 2 recovery of the play points is a fanfare effect, not a triggered ability.
Just half is fine.
It looks like we got Rune on the board here coming to hand along with Yuzuki Tami.
We'll pay 1 for Yuzu.
Going to use the lesson effect to bounce the 1 back to your hand. Going to get another draw that way. I like it. We got to get some hand back here. And then we'll be able to replay it this turn as well to generate the 2 play point recovery if we really want it.
Can't do anything else. Actually, oh yeah, because I played that out. Okay, we'll go 5 into the Penguin Wizard.
5 into the Penguin Wizard.
Oh no, I think we already used all our play points here. I forgot we didn't get the recover 2.
1, 2, 3 face.
And Pastor. And I'll enter with diswarded.
Yes, sir. So we have.
I think the ward here is fine. We want to protect our bigger guys here along with the Anastasia, because the Anastasia does provide us a way to like really, hopefully, if we stabilize somehow or start building a board up, Anastasia pops off again for a turn, gives us some extra damage. It's a high value threat that does need to be answered if, you know, Kuon isn't planning to win that turn, essentially.
I'll do 1, 2, 3 for Merlin.
Merlin coming down here. What are we searching for?
Merlin's fanfare. She will search a spell and add it to my hand.
Meteor Storm seems like a solid choice. Get a 3 for 1 in your opponent here. This also kind of decentivizes Rika next turn to play much to the board. Next turn, we might not see a lot being played. It might just be a thing where we use our tokens in the back row to get draws and like minor healing in, just so we can, you know, not lose our like all our hand and advantage or whatever we have to the Meteor Storm in hand, because that's a very likelihood that, you know, Kuon will be playing it next turn to clear the board. So giving them more cards to just blow up your board for like trading like 5 cards for 1 does not seem like a good idea. So next turn might be a turn of not a lot going on with cool aggro, which is interesting how searching that out does happen and like puts Rika on the spot deciding how they want to proceed here. What do they have a path to victory through this Meteor Storm, or are they just gonna pretend it's not there and, you know, play more things that have storm possibly and just push that damage this coming turn and hopefully have a follow-up after that to really hopefully put Kuon in a bad position. But Kuon sitting at 21 health is not good for cool aggro, because at the end of the day, even though this is kind of the combo version of cool aggro, it's not good for you that, you know, Kuon is just sitting here healing, chilling, you know, waiting for you to lose resources until they can win the game. It's one of the big things too. When you go in these matchups like this, you got to understand what your win condition is. Sometimes, even though you are the Kuon player, the plan isn't to win with Kuon necessarily. It's more of, in this case, an attrition war of who loses all the resources first. And unfortunately, Kuon is very good at keeping good hand size up, reusing resources they've already pitched to their graveyard. And they're so consistent on what they do that it's just really hard to really deal with. If you don't get in under them quick enough, we're going to get to the state where eventually either Cool is going to have not enough resources to really pop off and do anything, or Kuon will be able to just come out and close the game out with a D shift.
Yeah, our base stats 2-4.
Okay, so 3/5 after the +1/+1. Layla 5/3/1/1 ward. We will have Merlin go into the 1/1 ward.
Sure.
She's down to 2. Crafter will go into Layla.
Sure.
And that's a trade.
All right, clearing up the board here a little bit with our followers here. Are we have anything for this Anastasia? Or we're going to do another turn of them just gladly having Anastasia. All right, cool. Up to 4-hand here. We still have Anastasia on the board, so we do at least get that free swing in here. The question is, what do we do here? I know we have Rune in hand, I believe, was searched out earlier, which is good. We have the 1-drop that was bounced back to hand as well, which means we have at least 2 plays plus probably 1 more to recover 2 play points at least. I don't know if we can get to the 5+1/+1 trigger off of Anastasia.
Okay.
And if I was the cool player here, I would definitely feel like I'm playing from very far behind at this point. Opponent's sitting at 24 health now, and it's almost like turn 7, 8, 9. Those are the key turns of like Kuon's going to start being able to easily close the game out, which is very scary.
Cards in hand.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I don't go plus. Okay, we will do some risky maneuvers. Pay 3 for Kanade. Pay 3 for Rin Shibuya. Fanfare if there are at least 3 cool followers on the field. Select another follower with 3 attack or less in the field and give it Storm.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll pay 1 to Evil.
Oh. Okay, I lost you for a
So
second. There you go.
on Evolve, I will lessen 2 and deal 4 damage to Merlin.
Okay.
So it takes it out. And then yeah, I will go 4 face.
I'll take the 4.
Okay. I will go 3 face.
Anastasia also swings for 3, right?
Yeah, she also swings for 3.
Okay. I will 1-2 spin Shibuya back to your hand.
How many spell chain do you have?
Actually, you're right. 1,
Yeah,
2,
you think you
3,
might have a
4,
top
5,
deck
6,
here.
7, 8, 9. Nope, just 9.
Oh wow, that's
1, 2,
it's very
3,
very
4, 5,
specific.
6,
So I
7,
guess it
8,
goes back to
9.
my hand.
Yeah, goes back to your
Yeah,
hand.
I think just with all the spells you dumped, it felt like it was 10 already. I'll go 3 face.
1, 2, 3 face. I will take.
No, pass turn.
Alrighty. I go to 7. This is my draw. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spell chain, 13 on Miyoji count.
It's always scary when Kuon players start counting their grave. Oh, 13. We're so close to being able to pop off this turn. I think Meteor Storm here is like completely fine. You're not really worried. I don't think you're worried about losing from 17 life total here. If you just kind of Meteor Storm this turn, when you go up to 14 total, you just need to do 1 other spell or something into the grave, and then you get the free Kuon D shift going on next turn. Seems completely fine. I would want to do that instead. I think Meteor Storm requires 10 spell chain to be cost 5, I believe. Let's double check on that. Meteor Storm here. Yeah, spell chain 10 to cost 5 instead of 7. I think still just paying the 7, putting Meteor Storm in there, putting yourself, 1 card away from essentially getting this free. Oh, we're opting for the Shikigamis. Interesting. I guess at the same time, maybe you're not afraid of the Anastasia and stuff, but you've already put back a Storm into your opponent's hand, which means next turn they could play 2 cards that, the 3-drop, or the Rin plus another, 3 attack flower, meaning that's 6 damage. If it's Karen Hojo, we get to pump the board as well.
6 across and then 3 to face.
Sure. 15.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's right. We get the make this cost 5 now, so this makes sense. We get the draw, we get the 2/2 on the board, and then we get to just blow up their board. Yeah, this is completely fine. very likely next turn, if we have a 1-cost spell, if they play anything and ward it, and we run in our 2/2 or a little 2/2 guy in, making Kuon free essentially because we get a draw drop as well. Yeah, I think Kuon has this kind of in the bag. I mean, even if they have multiple Kuons in hand, even next turn, I could see it playing a Kuon for 1 to just summon the things and give them Storm and start pushing a little bit more.
Lesson 1 bounces back to my hand. If I go,
I'm gonna get another draw here.
Magic Item was banished in the exterior of this turn. Draw a card.
Draw.
Okay. Tap into. I'm gonna figure out if I can just pay to Evo.
All right, Evo here. We got to answer the token. It just disappears, which is not bad.
Turn to its owner's hand, so that just takes it out.
Yes,
Last
sir.
word's proc does not proc.
Yes, sir.
Do 1.
We're getting somewhere, but I still feel like Cool is just so far behind at this point. They're doing a really great job, like staying in this game and like refilling their hand, and honestly doing a pretty decent job overall. I think some of the warding earlier was not the best choices in my opinion. I think I would have just gladly traded life to like set up a very like more threatening board that's harder to deal with. But we'll see how this plays out now. We got Rune here. We're going to be pushing in for 6 damage at least. This does give this 3 Storm as well. So this is another 3/3 coming in. Got to push them down to 11.
I go to 8.
Oh, they did not give it Storm? I thought... Have I misread Rune this entire time? Oh, you need at least 3 cool followers on the board. I always... You know, the deck is so busted, I forget there are real conditions for giving things Storm. Recounting the grave again, looking to see if they can, sneak in. I mean, technically too, they're at 8 play points, right? They could play Kuon for 1 and then just D-shift, and they kind of will probably win them the game, honestly, on the spot. What are we deciding here? What are we thinking about?
I will 1, 2, 3.
All right, opting not to do a Kuon D-shift play here with 1 play point for the Kuon.
For Merlin.
All right, we're getting Merlin out, which means we're probably going to see, I assume, we're going to see a Witch's Bolt or something here to kind of clear up this board. We get a pop Rin or the ward or whatever, and then run Merlin, not Merlin. Oh no, yeah, it is Merlin. We're going to run the Evo Merlin in as well to clear up the board. Or potentially just leave it on the board as well, and we just get a, we'll go ahead and play some kind of removal, like Witch's Bolt, I guess, and then Evo Witch's Bolt again to get a card off of that as well.
Let me figure out what I want to grab.
All good.
I think we take this.
Okay.
All right, got Truce Education here. Might see, deal 3 damage to an enemy leader, or draw 2 cards, or deal 3 damage to enemy follower on the board, which we can get rid of that ward, and then we can, Evo draw 2 cards and swing into Rune if we want to as well. there's a lot of options here going with Truce Education. It's a very, very powerful card, especially in combination with Merlin. Especially when we start getting it for free off of Merlin, it's really powerful.
I'm going to 1 for Penguin Wizard.
So now Penguin Wizard.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just Magic Owl. Yeah.
Magic Owl.
Yeah.
They're all the same. It's a bird.
Yeah.
Al coming down, gonna go ahead and ditch Trail of Light here. Gonna draw a card as well. A card for Trail of Light, going up a card here, very powerful.
Oh man.
So we're gonna choose Education here, then Evo point plus play point to Evo Merlin possibly to clear the board, and then just have 2 threats on the board that are quite annoying.
You're going to 9 next turn. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3.
Is this the truth line? Oh no, we're playing 4 play points here. Looks like we're not going to be evoing Merlin.
Sure.
Crafter will make one of these and then destroy it to do 4 damage.
I like this. This is a pretty solid play as well. We're going to be left with a full board because we are going to be able to Evo Curse Crafter here to just finish the board, I believe. Unless they choose not to.
We'll put this down.
Discarding a Demon Caller.
And then I have 1 final Evo point to evolve Crafter.
Sure.
And
What a disgusting board. We have a Merlin on board that's not Evo, which means if it doesn't get answered, they get an Evo at next turn. Curse Crafter 3/3 on board along with the Owl as well. And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious next turn they're just threatening to Kuon and kind of close up the game here. That or they're missing D-Shift or something. But I feel like if you Merlin search D-Shift here would have been better then.
Evolve. Search deck for cool follower, passion follower, add to hand. I just want to see if I have any other option. I think most likely I do not.
All right, we're searching out some cool and passion followers, I believe. Let's double check. Yep, pulling out a cool and passion follower.
I'm going to do the same search as I did last time.
yes, sir.
Alright, how do I cut?
Just half is fine.
Sure. I will pay 1 for Kako,
Yes, sir.
and then pay 3 for Rin Shibuya, Fanfare, give a 3 or less follower with
Storm.
3 attack less Storm, and yeah, I'll just go 3 face
1, 2, 3.
and 2 face
1, 2.
and bastard.
Now I go to 9.
Well, even D-Shift by itself here kind of wins the game. We can Evo Merlin here, get some extra damage in that way, choose Education or whatever to deal 3 more face damage, D-Shift, and then swing with everything again. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's one of the issues into this matchup. You need to win quick enough to actually win the game against Kuon, because as the game goes on, you just kind of lose control of everything.
This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 face.
Okay. What's my total again?
4.
4.
You were at
Not
15.
5.
This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yep.
And then it's 7 for D shift.
Yeah, that's game. So.
Yep, and then they do have the D shift.
I don't regret this play at all. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really have much to do at this point.
Yeah.
I'm running out of lessons, and none of these cards really help me in the case. So I'm like, yeah, if I'm just gonna lose, I'll lose on a crazy last ditch attempt to get as much damage as possible.
All right, unfortunately here, we're gonna lose in the second round here. Gonna be moving on to round 3, which will be our final round, which will be Kuon versus whoever is the other undefeated, I believe. So hopefully see you guys in our next match video. Later, everyone.
I didn't get a good start.